Hey, paddle enthusiasts, welcome to Padel Smash Academy. My name is Cesc, paddle club owner and entrepreneur. Next to me is Julian, paddle master coach, and we're all about paddle. Whether you're new to the sport or an experienced player, you've come to the right place. Our goal is to provide you with paddle news, tournament outcomes, product reviews, and video lessons to take your game to the next level. So grab your paddle and let's get started at Padel Smash Academy. Welcome back, guys, and today we're going to talk about equipment, specifically on courts, right? And we get tons of questions on how much does it cost for a court? How much does it cost to be installed? How much is a good court? Which brands are good courts? What is needed specifically for your town? Let's just say if it's outside or inside. Yeah, all these questions, and I have some information, because I'm building a club myself. But I believe Julian, my partner here, paddle master coach, has the most experience.
Yes,
right? So
yes.
you get those questions as well, huh? Right?
I get questions on a weekly basis, about court building, manufacturers, different brands, why this one, why not that one. You as a club owner had the same questions. Here's one of the major issues that we get a lot of people trying to build courts. They're entrepreneurs, they're investors and all that, but there is so much out there that they don't know. Yes, you love paddle, you want to put a club, you see the money there, but now you have to build the right club with the right courts. I mean, at the end of the day, your courts are the most important asset on your club, because if you have crappy courts or a court that you need to change a year, 2 years, 5 years from now you're losing money. You haven't made the right investment.
So how do you determine what court you should get?
Perfect. So very good question. It's like in everything. You have the top brands and you have the middle and you have the bottom line brands. Like in everything, when you want to.
So who buys the bottom brands and who buys the middle brands? Who buys the top brands? I guess we can.
At the end of the day, it's because of not having enough knowledge. People ended up buying cheaper stuff that at the end of the day will cost you more.
So which market is the cheaper stuff? Somebody buying it, let's just say for the home that plays once in a while, or just you should stay away from the cheaper brands in general?
Well, let me rephrase that. I mean, the most important thing is there is a lot of they call themselves manufacturers, which they are not. They're intermediaries of somebody else. They get the courts from someone else and they do all the work.
Like a broker.
Like a broker.
But let's just talk about the actual where you'd get it, because sometimes you're going to work with a broker to make things easier, right?
Yeah.
But as long as the broker has good quality stuff, or all of the courts, depending on what your needs are, right?
Yes. But the biggest mistake that everybody does is all the investors and all the new club owners, they're not asking the right questions.
Yes.
So it's about you asking the right questions because of your core locations, what kind of carpet you want to put, what kind of LED lighting and all that. So it starts with that, asking the right question. And I just had a consulting meeting with an investors that are putting a club in San Francisco in the Golden City. Beautiful facility, 3 paddle courts, but they had no idea. They just love paddle. They want to see it as a possible investment, but they have to ask the right questions. So let's look at there in San Francisco. Is that outside? It is outside.
Is it near water?
It is near water.
Okay, so somebody like that, what should they be looking for when it comes to a court?
Okay, so if you're close to salt water, let's say you're in Miami, you're east or west of the United States, you have to use hot galvanized steel on your courts, right? That will cost you about $2,000 to $2,500 extra.
So let's talk a little bit about that. So what is that? That's something that reduces oxidation, right?
Exactly.
I mean, it's not going to eliminate it, but it's going to reduce it, right?
Reduce it in a major way.
So how much more? You said $2,000 to $2,500. So overall, is that like a 3% upsell? But roughly around that?
It depends. So let's go back now to what is the cost of a top of the line paddle court.
This is with that galvanized steel and everything, right? Top notch.
That's extra.
It is, okay.
Yeah, that's extra, and I'm gonna give you the breakdown.
Okay.
So and within the paddle courts, you have 3 different options or 4 different options. The full panoramic, what is that? It feels like you have a full glass. The whole court is sort of like a one big piece of
So
glass.
you only have the frames on the outside.
Well,
on the inside, they're put together by these plates, right?
By these plates that
and then there's a top panel, right, that kind
Correct.
of holds it, right? So
Correct.
it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's nice to shoot too. There, video.
Exactly. It's a great court when every time you watch a professional paddle tour.
Yep.
That's the way, because you can see the whole court.
So where would you use that, and can you use that everywhere? Outside, indoors.
You can do that indoor and outdoors.
Okay.
Period. That's not, but that's the top of the line. Then from there,
before we go on, how about the state? Does or the town? Do they have the requirements? Maybe they would say we don't want all glass. We want more frames there.
Yes.
And this is new to most towns and states, right? So I'm going through that situation. They don't know what the hell paddle is, right?
It's true.
It's not in the zone there that they can do a tennis is, but they don't know. So getting the variants, and then I have to send them all the courts so they get an idea of what it is, and they might have their 2 cents, right?
Yeah.
And if you show them both sides, panoramic and the other one, they may like, what, we want this one for safety issues.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, the only safety issues that I would say 90% of the courts sold worldwide, they're panoramic.
Right.
Okay, the other one is when you see the panels. You have 5 panels on the back, 2 on the side.
So is with the panoramic a lot more than the other one, and how much more?
Okay, I'll give you an example. A full panoramic, 24,000 euros. Okay, a V Pro, which is the with the panels, 19,000.
Gotcha.
That's the difference. Simple.
Wow.
Okay, that's
20%, about 20%.
Yeah,
a little more.
That's the raw number. It's about $5,000 difference, pretty much, with a top of the line full panoramic, 24,000. And I'm getting these quotes from LEDAP or Mejor Said. They're one of the top 3 leading core manufacturers in the world.
So let's go over that. You mentioned 2 manufacturers, and they are who are they again?
LEDAP, which it's one of the biggest paddle companies in the world. They own clubs. They own over 200 clubs worldwide.
So they actually manufacture
They manufacturers.
Okay.
They purchase one of the top brands, core builder brands in the world called Mejor Set. Now they do very boutique quality, great service.
So let me ask you a question. Do they only work with brokers, or is it direct to consumer?
Direct to consumer.
Wow. Okay. So I guess we'll have that link below, right? So
direct to consumer. Yeah, okay. And I can put you in contact with the right people and all that. So them is one of the top manufacturers. Their top of the line court is 24,000.
Okay.
Period. Here's the issue, that most of the courts, they are built either in Spain, and now some of the companies are opening in Mexico.
Well, let's talk about the other one, the other company, the other manufacturer. What's the name again?
The other manufacturers, you have Padel Galleys.
And do they also work straight to the consumer, or
straight to the consumer?
Wow. And is their quality just as good as the other one, or
very good, excellent quality?
And we'll have that link down below as well.
And Padel Court Deluxe is another one of the top 3 companies, which is a very good, well-brand, well-known, great. They do great stuff.
So another question would be, when you're working with them, do they provide you with shipping as well? Or is that something you would have to do on your own, or work with another broker to help you ship the item?
They do the whole from A through Z.
Wow.
But each step, it's an extra cost.
Right. So I think that's what people want to know.
Exactly.
That's great. They gave us a cost, but now you have insurance, right? And you have shipping. Because if you ship this thing and you have a lot of glass there and something breaks, then what? And I think they may require you to have insurance. Then it's getting it to your location, right?
Correct.
Then it's getting who's going to put this thing up, right?
Well,
I mean, it's not something you can get your Sears tools and just.
But for you guys to understand,
it's
these companies, they offer the whole 360.
So all those 3 companies offer that.
Yeah.
That's great.
Most of the companies they do that. They do but at an extra cost. So that's why most of you will say, "Oh my God, 24,000, that's so cheap," But no, wait a minute. So now let's add shipping cost. So let's say we're in southeast United States, Florida, Miami. From Spain to here, right? It's about $6,000, $6,500.
So maybe we're at what, $31,000.
$31,000. That's shipping cost. And remember, it has to be very specific shipping container.
How about the insurance?
Wait. Shipping container has to be top loaded. You have 2 different type of shipping containers. Top loader.
Let me go back. So in that, container, how many courts can fit?
Good. Maximum 4 without sand.
So it really costs $2,000 to ship each one.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
so
it.
it depends. So if you have a club that has at least 4, so now it's really going to cost you $27,000, right? Ship.
Correct.
But now you have insurance, right? You have to get insurance. I mean, when I was talking to people, it was like,
insurance. No, you don't really have to.
So what if the glass breaks?
Okay.
What if you lose it?
They will insure. If they through the transportation, they insure themselves and they will give you extra. Yeah.
All right.
And usually they give you some extra glasses just in case if something breaks.
So now
they will be fully responsible for that.
So now we're up to 27,000, right?
Correct.
Now, is there any add-ons to that court, or is 25 like the max best you can get?
Yes, there is an add-on.
Okay, so let's go back and let's go up, do all these add-ons, because honestly, when you first go buy something, there's an upsell. And
Right.
and your expectations are at 24,000 for a great court. You're expecting all these different things. So let's do these upsells. So where we start at 25,000, what's the upsell here? What other options do we have?
Good. Carpet.
Upgraded carpet.
Well, no. You have 3 different or 4 different quality of carpet. So, but
what does it come with?
Yeah, but here's the big difference. You have to know exactly if you're going to do indoors or outdoors. There are 2 different carpets. One is for indoors, one is for outdoors. Indoor carpet is a certain type of carpet that you don't see the sand, right? It's a texturized monofilament, where the sun stays below. Now, if it's outdoor, you will see the sun, and the sun has to be removed and all that. So that's one thing. The other thing that you have to take in consideration, if you're doing only outdoor courts, that's going to be maximum of 3 per container because you have to put the sun in it. Unless you can get source the sun from your own place.
Or
locally.
Gotcha.
And the sun is not just regular beach sun, it's silica sun.
Silicone sun, yeah. Okay, so another question is a carpet extra, or do they give you credit on what carpet you need to get?
It comes with a standard carpet.
Okay, so at that point,
correct.
If you choose something else, then it's a little bit more, right?
So what is the top of the line carpet? Like everybody talks about, it's Mondo. That's the top brand company and all that.
For indoor or outdoor?
For indoor, outdoor. That's the top of the line.
How much is the upgrade to that?
Okay, it's $1,000.
Okay.
Per court.
So we're at, let's say, 28,000.
Yes, but nowadays, and it happens all the time, the Chinese are making something even better than the Mondo for less price.
Okay, who uses that? Is that been tested out?
Oh, yeah, but the Chinese, they run away quickly and they make something better, cheaper, and so the Mondo is $1,000. Let's say we take the Mondo.
Okay.
So it's $1,000 extra. Period.
So we're at 28,000.
20,000. Then, hot galvanized or not. So if you're close to the water, hot galvanized meaning salt water. Lake doesn't make a difference. Salt water is the one that is the big enemy.
So the base comes with what? Raw steel just painted?
Correct.
So even if it's outdoor, you should probably get
the galvanized. No, but it's treated in a way that it won't get rusted. But now the problem is with the salt water. Salt water is harsher. Okay, it's like everything. If you live close to the ocean, everything will get rusted.
So let's just say you're near the water. So
how much? Another $2,500.
Okay, so now you're at what? 27, 28 to 9, almost at 30 grand.
30 grand, perfect. Then, what other extras do you have on the court?
You have maybe the cushions on the side. You have an upgraded net. A different color of the flooring. Sometimes
you can choose your own color.
Okay.
Most of the people that go green, they go. Some people they go the AP Tour is it red color, but it's either blue or green.
So if they insure it, then you don't have to worry about that.
No.
So then you have also your taxes, I guess. Import or export taxes, or
correct.
Okay, so what would that be on each court? Let's say now we're at 30 grand. We're at 30 grand.
The shipping is safe, right? So they drop it off at the port.
Yeah.
Now you have to make sure that you get it out of the port and all that. So that's the custom fees and all that. Every port is different, so it depends on where you're shipping it to. But it's not that's not a really big number.
All right. So let's say we're at 30 grand. Now we need somebody to because that's very heavy glass.
It is.
Stuff. Ship that there to your location, and maybe you're
they do
20 miles away.
Yeah, but they do it themselves. They
So
take
they also ship.
Yeah, they
Is that included in the cost?
no, that's extra, but they will take care of it.
Is it per mile? Do they charge you per mile, or
It depends of the zip code.
Okay.
And how far is the closest
Okay,
port.
so they'll quote you.
They quote you. Either
Okay.
the biggest port, it's Baltimore, Miami, and New York. And if you go to the West Coast, it's in, I think it's
Okay,
in.
so you have those two costs that we're not too sure about yet. But okay, so now we get that your location, and one, you need to store it, right? Make sure you have somewhere we can store it, right? And the second one is, do they send people out? Do they send one person out? Do they send a whole crew out?
Correct.
And what is the cost really when it comes to their crew to, let's say, build one court?
Okay, they will send a crew to you guys. They send three people, usually between 3 and 4 people. They charge you between $4,000 to $5,000. Each court takes about in between 3 to 4 days to build.
No, you said 4,000 to 5,000 per each court.
No, for the whole thing.
Okay, so how many courts then are we talking about?
Whatever it is, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, so they don't go by time; they just go based on your order.
I mean, basically, they're bringing these people. The $4,000 or $5,000 is to pay for a round trip ticket, food, and lodging, pretty much.
Okay, so you have to provide them with food and
no, that's included in the $4,000.
Okay, and
so and part of the they will help you build.
So so regardless if it's 1 or 4, it's the same cost.
Same cost.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's very costly if you're just doing 1 at your home.
Exactly.
But let's just say you're not. Let's just doing 4, so it's another $1,000.
Yeah.
So we're like a $31,000.
Correct.
Roughly 31, 32,000.
Then there's a cheaper option where they send just a supervisor. Let's say you have your own maintenance crew and all that. So they send a supervisor. They charge you $400 per day.
Right.
And he tells the guys, okay, you got to get this, and that. They send you a whole list with all the equipment that you need. So when you got here, your own guys will know how to build it up.
Okay, so that's a good number to use, $400 a day. And do you know how long it takes to build 1 court?
3 to 4 days.
Okay, so you're about maybe $1,200 per court.
Yeah.
So okay, that's about right.
Yeah.
That's about $32,000 we're at. Okay. So now before we put that in there, you have to have a location, right? A commercial location.
Correct.
You have to have an engineer come out and, if you're going to do drainage, if you're going to do, now do the blueprints for the concrete, for your electrical. Those are all other costs that you're going to have to consider.
Correct.
When you're putting up this.
Yeah, let me just clarify that. Remember, everyone, that the courts come already with lighting. So the $24,000 includes the light, LED, and all that. The other thing, intelligent question that you should ask, what kind of LED lighting you're getting? How many lumens? What is the power? That's very, very important because that could be during the night, or if you're indoors, that could be make it or break it, because you don't want to have lights that they don't illuminate enough, or if they are too strong, every time you're looking up, that thing hits your face and you lose the ball.
So if you're indoors and already have lighting, you may not need the strongest LED lighting, right?
Correct.
But if you're outdoors and don't have any lighting, you may need the strongest one.
Correct. So that's very important. So there are very important questions that I deal with this on a weekly basis.
So is that an upgrade, or is that depending on the company?
No, it's about asking what are they giving you for $24,000.
Okay.
So you have to know exactly, because each company has something different. One of the issues that you have here in the United States right now is that you have companies like All Sports Courts that they charge you $100,000 for 1 court. It's crazy. I mean,
wow.
24,000, 100,000. Okay, well, let's say 30,000, 100,000.
So what additional things do they do? I mean, I'm assuming they take off your prep work, everything, the speed. They can probably get up as fast as they can.
So you have the whole range of prices. That's why people are getting ripped off, or investors are getting ripped off, because you have these only person selling, oh, this is the best court ever. Everybody's the best. Everybody is number 1. But I'm giving you the best companies worldwide.
I think there's a lot of people that go into it as why there's all these questions, how much it is. They're trying to get the cheapest thing, right? And sometimes the cheapest thing always costs them the most, right?
Exactly.
So you're looking at maybe $32,000, not including the prep work,
yes.
Fees when it comes to engineers and so forth. So,
let me clarify that. One of the major issues is the cement slab. Okay. That the courts have to be, let's say if you're doing it on dirt, you have to build that cement slab. Sadly, here in the United States, that's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
You're talking about here in Miami about $24,000 for one padel court.
Yeah.
So now you're bumping up to $50K for one padel court. Now, if you're building it, let's say on top of a hard court, tennis court, that's pretty easy. It's just plug it in and you're good to go.
Asphalt, yeah. If you have an old tennis court in your backyard,
exactly.
You know,
one of my dear friends, he had a tennis court on his house. He just put up a padel court.
Perfect.
Pretty easy. Came in, boom, 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 done. You're good to go. Now, if you have to build a cement slab, that's another extra expense that you have to take in consideration.
And those are specific to those courts, right? You
Correct.
need some certain type of what do you call it?
Levels. Porous is, first of all, it has to have an inclination. 0.08 inclination. It must have that because so the water drains out. The other one has to be a porous cement, so the water drains out. If you put the flat cement, that water will stay there forever. It will never move out.
Right.
So those are the really things that you have to know. When asking, you have to ask the right questions.
Yeah. And then you need an electrician to run the electrical for the lights.
Make sure that
and anything else that you would need there.
Yeah.
So you could be anywhere from, $32,000 just for the court getting it to your place, and you could be anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 and prep work. So you're looking around that $50,000 to $55,000 per each one.
Yes.
Done.
Yeah. Unless you have those options that you have already the cement slab or you're building it on a tennis court or a flat cement slab, you can get away. Indoors could be cheaper too.
Oh yeah, because it's usually you have concrete slab.
Yeah.
And you don't have to deal with water. You have a controlled environment.
Exactly.
So the best areas, of course, would be empty parking lot, right? Or one has a big parking lot that you could put up, the courts, right?
Yeah.
So, well, that's a lot of great information. I think a lot of people are confused. A lot of people just say, "Oh no, it's only like 25,000," but I think they forget about everything else, right? Because there's a whole process to this. But that gives you a good idea of how much you're gonna spend on one court in case you're gonna privately do it at your own home, or you're considering putting together a business plan to put together a club. I think there's a lot of great information. We're gonna have in our links below the two manufacturers.
I'll give you 3 or 4, but let me add something to that. One good thing that is happening right now is some of these manufacturers now they're start building having courts here. They're renting warehouses and they're bringing for one of them is Padel Galleys. They just made an arrangement with Wilson Racket Sports. So now they're working together and they're selling you a package where for each court that you build with Padel Galleys is one of the top brands. It comes with all Wilson equipment. So they're going to give you all those. There are some good extras there where you're going to get some extras. They're going to give you paddles. They're going to give you some goodies for you to have the court ready to go. And then they're already having 30, 40 courts here in the United States. They're located in Austin, Texas, where now you're saving on shipping, which is very good.
Oh yeah.
So now those $6,500 in shipping now goes away.
So are they upping the cost a little bit?
Because I'm going to find out.
They have to ship that.
Yes, I'm going to find out how much are the courts. I'm going to make a phone call as soon as we finish here to see for them to give me the prices.
Because they're not manufacturing here; they're just holding here. So it does still, but their shipping is going to be a lot less because they're doing it in bulk.
Correct.
Still, I'm sure we'll have to pay something. That'll be incorporated in the actual cost. And what company are they using? Are Wilson using?
Padel Galleys.
Oh,
it's one of the top 3-4 companies in the world. The World Padel Tour and things like that. Actually, World Padel Tour is using Padel Galleys courts, as you can watch it, and Mejor Set or LEDAP is using the Premier Padel Tour courts. So you can watch both. Those are the top two companies. And a lot of the companies now, they're getting smarter. They're having courts and representatives here in the United States for them to promote the sport.
And another question. Let's talk about the clubs and what they use, what companies they use.
What clubs?
The local clubs here.
Well,
so do you know?
Ultra, know it's Padel Galleys.
It is, okay.
Padel Galleys, 100%.
And I like those courts.
Yeah, they're very, very nice.
How about and Reserve? Have you seen the Reserve ones?
Reserve, what they did is they're doing the 360 concept where they're brokers of a company,
Okay.
and they're gonna provide in service like a whole sort of like a
I kind of see that a lot of clubs are trying to do that.
yes.
You know. Okay. So how about open paddle? Do you know which ones they
Open
have?
paddle, it's old sports court.
All sports court.
Yeah, which are pretty expensive,
Okay.
almost like $100K per court.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are they that much better? Yeah. It depends. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You will not feel the difference.
okay. Gotcha.
know.
Gotcha. I mean, I played there, so
Yeah.
you're right. How about Winwood? What court?
Winwood, there, as you see, they need to be resurfaced. They're Paddle Guest. It's a company from Barcelona that when they build them. But Winwood has certain things that they need to improve.
Well, maintenance, right?
Maintenance and the drainage and all that. They have some structural issues that they're working on it to improve them on. The courts are fantastic, but the carpets need an upgrade.
Gotcha. Okay, well that's great to know.
Yeah.
So again, all these links are gonna be below. I hope this is very helpful for you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to Padel Smash Academy. We hope you find our videos informative and helpful in improving your game and learning all things paddle. And if you haven't already, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a video from us. So until next time, keep practicing, keep improving, and keep on smashing that paddle. See you in the court.